Hello, welcome to the January 5th Sustainability Commission. Meetings are broadcast live on Glendale TV, viewable on Spectrum Cable Channel 6 and on AT&T UVerse Channel 99. Meetings are also streamed live and high definition on the city's webpage, glendaleca.gov/live, on youtube.com/MyGlendale, and on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire devices using a free app called Screenweave and choosing Glendale TV from the menu. Meetings are also archived on the city website for viewing at any time at glendaleca.gov/agendas. Please call 818-548-4013 for program schedules. DVDs of the proceedings are available for purchase in the city clerk's office. For public comments and questions during the meeting, please call 818-937-8100. Public comments on a specific agenda item will be taken when that agenda item is discussed. If you have questions about matters on the agenda or requests for assistance, please contact the Management Services Department at 818-548-4844 during regular business hours. Okay, could we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Bartrosov?
Here.
Commissioner Bazemore?
Here.
Commissioner Cartoonian?
Here.
Vice Chair Pinkerton?
Here.
Chair Werner?
Here.
Ex officio Kudo? Here. Ex officio Borisov?
Here.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, I would like to acknowledge that we are holding this meeting in the city of Glendale on the traditional lands of the Gabrielino Tongva people. We would like to pay our respects to the elders, both past and present, and the Tongva communities who continue to be stewards of this land. And can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So next agenda item, please.
Next agenda item is 1C, report regarding posting of agenda. The agenda for the January 5th, 2023 meeting of the Sustainability Commission was posted on December 29, 2022 on the bulletin board outside City Hall. Next item is 2, approval of minutes. 2A, approval of the minutes of the commission meeting, regular meeting held December 1st, 2002.
Okay. Did any commissioners have any questions or comments on the minutes? Okay, hearing none, can I have a motion to approve?
So move.
Okay, I'll second. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bartrosov?
Yes.
Commissioner Bazemore?
Yes.
Commissioner Cartoonian?
Yes.
Vice Chair Pinkerton?
Yes.
And Chair Werner?
Yes.
Next item is 3, board member and staff comments.
Okay, would you like to start us off, David?
Good evening, Commissioners. Welcome to 2023. 2022 kind of like went so fast, and assume the same will happen this year. We're looking forward to doing a lot of work with the Commission this year, especially regarding the Climate Action Adaptation Plan. We're looking forward to your interaction with the consultants as we develop that plan and your input. And yeah, we're just looking forward to a very productive year of the Commission as last year. So thank you.
Okay, would any of the commissioners like to speak? Don't be shy. Okay.
I just have a couple questions for David. It's okay to go ahead with those now. I'm going to be assisting with the outreach for the work plan for this year. And I probably asked you this before, so my apologies if it's a duplication. What kind of outreach to businesses do we undertake? For example, when you've got like the accessories on request? Oh, no problem.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be taking a 5-minute recess to amend the technical difficulties.
Okay. Yeah, the audio looks. still looks
Okay, we
blurry.
can resume the commission meeting. Vice Chair Pinkerton, you were providing a comment and question.
Thank you. Just a number of comments and questions to throw to the city staff here. It seems like there's a general consensus that we do want to do a lot more outreach this year. And I'm just wondering, so I'm going to just rattle off some questions if you want to address them later, or do you actually have an outreach budget? Are you allocated for, printing, mailing? Do you have an email contact list for outreach, like to businesses or trade associations, like apartment association of, Greater LA if there's a local chapter? One thing I'm trying to work on in Los Angeles is we have a business license process, but we don't capture all the data that various city departments have discovered we need it. For example, like SB 1383, which is the organics diversion, we have to identify types of businesses called Tier 1, Tier 2. We don't capture any data that aligns with that. So I'm just wondering if the city could consider, are you getting as much information as you can? Because if you do have a licensing process, try to make it a one-stop shop that would benefit the city. Just get the data that you need instead of, I know it's been very onerous for the city of LA to reach out and identify, well, who's Tier 1, who's Tier 2. Let me see, and also I'm just wondering about your outreach for residents. Again, are you like proactively, I know with the neighborhood councils, quite often they would have a lot of city officials come in and make presentations, but I'm wondering, do you have contacts at the various neighborhood associations or with the umbrella group? The coordinating
Glendale
council,
Homeowners
yes, I was spacing out on that. Another thing, have you done any focus groups? I know typically they're somewhat expensive, but I'm wondering if you could convene any of those on a volunteer basis just to get some input. I think you've had listening meetings in the past, particularly on transportation, but just curious about that. Let me see. Oh, and one other comment, we were just talking, you've got a tracking sheet as far as things we've mentioned. I think you said Liz put together. I think one thing we need to know or maybe offer is if we ask for information for a department, excuse me, from a department, maybe the first response back from them, well, how long do you think it will take to compile that information? Then that gives them a deadline to work against, gives us some idea where the request is, so it's not an open-ended situation. Might make it easier for everybody. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vice Chairperson Pinkerton, I can respond to some of those. So regarding budgets, that's often item specific. So if we bring an item to City Council, such as the single-use plastics, as part of the fiscal analysis, we may ask for a budget to help us do the outreach for that. The sustainability office itself doesn't have a generic budget for outreach. It's focused more on programs. Regarding the email contact list, yes, we have been working for the last couple of months, and we are working to build up a database of contacts so we can send information to people as we find it relevant. We work with community development and other departments within the organization to try and get those lists and get information out to businesses when it's appropriate. Specifically regarding SB 1383, the Tier 1 and Tier 2, for the food program specifically I mentioned, we're actually working with a consultant with us on doing that, and they've been very good at selecting and identifying those Tier 1 and Tier 2 programs within the City of Glendale. We do have a business registration certificate process, and we are looking at that in terms of, for example, the single-use plastics, for people to self-certify that they use single-use plastics. So that's something that we are beginning to look at to see how we can get more information from that, but that's the beginning of that process. And regards focus groups and everything, we've only done that on very specific things like the building electrification code, but we haven't done that in general. But Elizabeth and her team are very much working on putting together an outreach plan, which put the newsletter, the social media campaigns and everything, to make sure that we do correspond with the constituents in much more often and much deeper than what we're doing now, We're going to be doing a lot of that through the Climate Action Adaptation Plan. And then finally, we do reach out to Glendale Environmental Coalition and the Sierra Club if there's specific issues and everything we want, then they help us get that information out. But yeah, we're very aware that we need to be better at our outreach, and with Elizabeth working with us, we are trying to develop a strategy for that.
No, it's one of the hardest things. It's almost as though you can never have enough budget or staff to work on it, so thank you.
And for the Glendale Homeowners Coordinating Council, I happen to be vice president of that, so I tend to give an update on what we're working on, encourage people to call in if you know, upcoming meeting has a topic of interest to homeowners in the city. So that's been helpful a few times. And for my neighborhood association too, I'm vice president of that as well, and I had them agendize. There happened to be a few commissioners in that group, and so each one gets a few minutes to kind of update the rest of the group on what's happening there. So trying to create some synergy. I hope everyone else is, you know, getting the word out about the commission on their, I'm sure we all serve on at least one other board or committee or something. So thank you for that question.
Can I add something about the outreach? So I know last year Mike and I were talking about our Sustainability Commission projects as a student ex officio, and we finally were able to move forward with one of the projects. We're planning to meet the principal of Clark Magnet High School and also the AP Environmental Science teacher, Ms. Evans, next Thursday, January 12th, to talk about the Los Angeles County Sanitation District School Bus Reimbursement Program. That's a mouthful, but we're going forward with that. And then we chose the La Cañada Water Reclamation Plant because it's the closest one, and also just a great way to, because we're in the service area, so we thought that the students would be able to learn more about, you know, what happens with everything. So yeah, I just wanted to update the commission today.
I thank you, ex officio Kudo. And to add on, our other student work plan or goals was to have it was like Glendale Tech Week, but for sustainability, essentially bringing jobs over. And so I did talk with my supervisor at Glendale City College, so I work there as well, and she said we could totally figure something out, especially since sustainability is a rising market, right? Green jobs and such. So I think the city would be happy to host something like that if we go ahead and ask. But for our school bus trip, it would be around February, I believe, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, if you could let us know when the date's set, that would be great. Okay, are there any other comments?
Sorry, Chairperson, but I do have one further comment. Just to remind the Commission that at the next meeting, we'll be starting the ad hoc committee again for the student selection. So that process, believe it or not, has to start soon. So.
Already? I feel like we're just getting to know the current ones. I don't want to see them go. Wow, okay, thanks for that reminder.
One more. David, I had sent you last month the report that was published by Governor's Office of Business Economic Development on permit streamlining for EVs. It looks like Glendale is deficient on a couple of minor areas. One of them is we don't have a checklist that people can follow, and e-signature, which I thought we had implemented, but apparently not for EV chargers. Those are a couple of minor areas that I think is achievable, easily achievable. So I don't know which department would oversee that. I would guess it's building and permits. So if we could have somebody come and, you know, report to us if there are any impediments to achieving those two goals. Our neighboring cities have achieved them, and you know, surely we can knock those out of the air.
Yeah, we'll make sure we find the appropriate staff members and get response to those and let them know what their plan of action is.
Perfect, thanks.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. Okay, if there's no other comments, we can go ahead to the next agenda item.
Next agenda item is 4, oral communications. Discussion is limited to items within the jurisdiction of the Sustainability Commission. Each speaker is allowed 5 minutes. Sustainability Commission members may question or respond to the speaker, but there will be no debate or decision. The matter may be referred to staff for investigation and report. At this moment, Chair, we don't have any callers or speakers.
Okay, so let's move on to the next agenda item then. And if someone wants to call in as we, to comment on the agenda, the action item or something, we'll let them do that, so.
And next item is 5 action items. 5A is approval of the Sustainability Commission's 2023 work plan. 1, motion directing staff to submit the Sustainability Commission's 2023 annual work plan to City Council for approval.
Chairperson Werner and Sustainability Commissioners, as you know, you all worked extremely hard at the last commission meeting to put together the work plan. And I want to thank Elizabeth specifically for shepherding us through that process. She did a wonderful job. And what you have in front of you is the results of all that work. So now's the opportunity for the Commission to review that work plan, make any edits, amendments to the work plan that you'd wish to see. And ex officio Borisov was not at that meeting, so there's also an opportunity for him at this meeting to talk about parts of the plan that he may be interested in participating in.
Yes, so what we'll do is I've essentially put down all the items from the commission work plan session, the top 5 priorities, and they were included in the staff report. So this is now your chance if you'd like to make any edits. Right here is for this item to help break it up. We're just focusing on, are there any edits to define to the definition of each priority? So if you have any edits that you'd like to make to any of the priority definitions, please let me know.
Ex officio Borisov, I know we volunteered you for a couple of these since you weren't here, so are you comfortable with the public outreach one that we added your name to?
Absolutely, I agree with public outreach. I was wondering, Chair Warner, if it was possible to add my name onto number 4 and 5, green spaces and urban heat island and mobility.
I don't have any objection. Yep, looks like we're happy
Thank you,
to
Chair.
have the
We'd
extra
like to be
input.
part of 4, ex officio Borisov, you'd like to be part of 4 priority items? Is that correct, or 3?
3, I believe I'm in number 1, and I requested 4 and 5. Unless you would count climate action adaptation plan as 4, then I believe that would be 4, items. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But going back a slide, are there any changes to the definitions of the priorities? No? Okay, no changes. Are there any changes to the projects for each priority?
I'd like to be added to water conservation, number 3, if possible, if there's no objection.
Sure, welcome aboard.
Any changes to projects and leads?
I wanted to ask, since we didn't discuss priority 0, the climate action and adaptation plan at the last meeting, are there specific projects? I'm familiar with the overall goal of that, but are there specifics within that that we should be familiar with and think about, I guess, for us as a commission? Are there projects under that, I guess, is what I'm asking?
Commissioner, we haven't even started the process. So later on, that was a question with the work plan. We will be able to tease out projects that are coming from the climate action adaptation plan and build them into the work plan. But at this point, at the very, very beginning process, they need to start their initial data collection for the greenhouse gas inventory, and then just start from there.
Okay, thanks.
Has Glendale done an inventory at all, ever?
The City of Glendale has 3 greenhouse gas inventories, 2009, 2005, 2010, and 2015.
Oh, okay,
So-
okay. Are those online somewhere?
They are not online.
Oh, okay.
So part of the project of the Climate Action Adaptation Consultancy will be to analyze this prior three
Right.
and build all the information together.
Just one more question. Do you recall the trend? Is it?
The trend is, so far, we're reducing our greenhouse gas emissions.
We have reduced?
Yes, we
Oh,
have.
great. Okay. Thank you.
And since we're volunteering for additional categories, I wouldn't mind being added to the public outreach one, because there are some specific things I'm interested in, like the e-waste drive. I was just reading the other day that like 95% of lithium-containing things end up in the trash, and that kind of thing just really makes me realize how much work we have to do to make it easier for people to recycle these things. And the components in lithium items are, they're in short supply. And
We're seeing, in the solid waste field, we're seeing more fires associated with batteries.
it's more
Yeah.
what?
Fires.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
wow.
facilities. So
Yep.
because you're right, things get into the trash where they're not supposed to be, and
Excuse me. For water conservation, Vice Chair Pinkerton wanted to put them as herself as a lead. However, the three of you are all three voting members of the commission, and if you were to meet, you would be considered a quorum. Therefore, there can't be three voting members. However, my understanding is that ex officio Borisov can join because he's not a voting member and not considered part of a quorum.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
so
makes sense.
one of us needs to drop off? Is that what
So
you're?
yes, for water conservation, one of you needs to drop off.
Okay, well, I will, since I was the last to join.
I would be willing to volunteer if you would like, and I could join Commissioner Kartunian for priority number 2,
Okay, sure.
if that would be okay.
Fine with me.
I
Thank
was
you.
wondering if I could also put my name under number 2 as well. I was thinking about, the same.
All of a sudden, it's not lonely. Thank you, thank
A
you.
lot of moving around, yeah.
Does that align with your plans? Did you want me
Okay, so number 2, the energy emissions reduction would have Commissioner Kartunian, Commissioner Bazemore, and ex officio Kudo. Okay, cool.
Welcome.
Chair Warner, I have a quick question. I know the project's already pretty solid, but I was wondering if in the fine print for number 5 for mobility, it says EV readiness and equitable access to charging infrastructure, if it was possible to put in there somewhere potentially photovoltaic canopies, basically solar roofs over parking structures with a certain amount of spots. If I would be allowed some time to explain it, possibly. If not, then it's okay.
Ex officio, Borisov, thank you for that question. What you have in front of you are just the key projects. So within those projects, there would be possibility to look at those additional issues. So but at the last meeting, the commissioner said these are the key things that they want to concentrate on. So if that is something that fits in with that, you can build it into the project as they go forward with it.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, some of these, like the equitable access to charging infrastructure, that could be, parking structure that has a charging station. So someone who lives in an apartment that doesn't have any could charge there, that sort of thing, so. Okay. And were there any other observations, since I know you weren't there? So, this is a working document. It can change today, it can change next month too, so weigh in.
No, but thank you for asking. I noticed that public transportation was mentioned, so that was important. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, just as a reminder, it's not carved in stone, so we can massage this as time goes on.
If there are any more changes? No, if there's not any more changes, then we could just need a motion for the commission to direct staff to submit this work plan to City Council with your discussed changes.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
I think I need to read the motion, though. So the sustainability of the commission would like to direct staff to submit the Sustainability Commission's 2023 annual work plan as described in the January 5th, 2023 staff report from the city's sustainability officer to the City Council and to the City of Glendale for approval, and subject to the comments that we've made today.
And I'll do roll call. Commissioner Bartrosov,
Yes.
Commissioner Bazemore,
Yes.
Commissioner Kartunian,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pinkerton,
Yes.
Chair Werner.
Yes.
Thank you.
And just a quick ask, can we be notified when it's scheduled for the council meeting? Thanks.
Yes.
Do you have any estimate how long it would take? I don't know how backlogged they are.
We'll, next Wednesday, when we have the post-agenda debrief, we'll bring it up then and we'll let you know when it's been calendared. So a week.
Okay, great. Yeah, since it is the 2023 annual work plan, it'd be nice if it's not
excuse-
October or something. But,
Sorry, Chair, we do have a caller for item 5, if you'd like to take it.
okay, yes, please.
Hello, Craig Cadwallader.
Hello.
Hi, you're on the air for item 5. You
Thank you.
have 3 minutes, Chair? You have 3 minutes.
Be very quick. Good evening, Commissioners and staff. My name is Craig Cadwallader, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Circular Foundation South Bay chapter. And maybe moot, since you've already voted on the item, I was curious why among the priorities there are no plastic waste reduction initiatives listed in that list of items unless buried somewhere. So I think
I'm sorry, we're having a really hard time hearing you. Could you maybe speak closer to the microphone and start over? Maybe speak more slowly or something, but it's just very garbled. And maybe it's on our end, but if I just want to let you know we couldn't hear you. So let's try this again if we could.
Craig, could you please try calling back? We'll have you on right away. Perhaps that will have a better connection.
is this better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't know what happened there, but I'm also hearing myself echoed through here, so it's hard to talk.
Oh, so maybe you need to turn your TV off or
off.
silent it so you don't have that going on. That might be the problem.
I'll try muting my phone. No, that's not working. So I'll try to get through this very quickly. Good evening, commissioners and staff. My name is Craig Cadwallader. I'm speaking on behalf of the Circular Foundation South Bay chapter. And for the work plan, I saw no entries for plastic waste reduction initiatives, and I would hope that that could be added to the work plan to help address those issues going forward. That's the only comment I have, and thank you for allowing me to speak, and apologies for the audio problems.
Okay. No problem. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
I know we've done a lot of work for plastics reduction in terms of single-use plastics at eateries and drive-thrus and things like that, but is that something we could look at adding to this?
Was that the issue, that we wanted just 5 topic areas? Was that why we didn't go with zero waste or plastic?
It seemed like it was voted as a low priority for the commission when we did our scoring, I think, last month, and it fell off the list from what I remember.
I will say, though, that and I think the caller knows this, that we have passed, or council has passed some legislation on plastics reductions recently. So I think it might have been a question of what are our priorities moving forward into 2023, but also so the caller knows, and I assume this, that the climate action plan will include additional recommendations on plastic reductions and waste. that may not be specified as one of our priorities, but will be included in the action plan itself.
And just one other comment. I've been sharing plastic and zero waste related ordinances as LA adopts them, sharing them with David. So what we can also do is to decide just to get these over to City Council if we want. LA just adopted a citywide ban on polystyrene products. We've expanded the single-use plastic bag ban to additional categories of stores. Originally, it was primarily grocery stores. We've expanded it to other types of retailers. And then we've adopted a zero-waste city facilities and events ordinance as well. So I'm happy to share those. Since we've done the work, I mean, if the city wants to borrow these, adapt these, it could save a lot of staff time, so.
I know the city council did adopt a no plastic water bottles and disposables and things at city events, which was, I thought, a good start. And I've been encouraging that in some of the other groups I'm involved with.
So yes, just to inform the Commission, we'll be introducing the ordinance on plastic waste reductions at the January 10th City Council meeting, which will address a lot of Mr. Coldwater's issues, I guess. And as Commissioner Bartrusu said, within the Climate Action Plan, there's going to be other opportunities to address this and zero waste initiatives. So.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
And also, I know education outreach is a big component of this, but I just, while we're on the subject of plastics and outreach, I continue to get plasticware that I didn't ask for, just this week even, and so I felt like bringing it and going like, hey,
Right.
so, I don't know if I want to name drop, but, Colonel Sanders was on the list, and so, shame on them, but.
They don't know you're on the commission.
Yeah, that must be
They
it,
might
but,
now.
well, they had a sign that said you need to ask for it, so I didn't
Right.
think I needed to tell them to keep the plastic, and anyway, so it does seem like there's some learning opportunities there for the actual staff at these places. The word just isn't getting to the person that's in charge of handing or tossing that in the bag. So, thanks.
So regarding the work plan, you took a vote. Do you want to reassess that? Are you happy with the vote that you took?
Yeah, we're happy with it. It's just that, I think some of this, like the public outreach, I think a lot of the plastic waste can be addressed through the public outreach of.
Right.
So they haven't
using less
voted, right? Okay.
I'm actually meeting with Surfrider next week, so I'll reinforce that with our caller. And also, I think we maybe suggested, can you create like a little notice and put it on the website, so if people want to download, you could have like a letter size with like 4 little notices, so if we want to download a sheet of those at home, we can hand them out when we go through our drive-throughs if somebody's violating it. It's just a thought. We also gave window clings, and we designed things. We didn't print them in LA, but we designed things that the stores could use if they didn't want to invest their own time. But I confess, I go through drive-throughs because I like to check and see if they're in compliance, and most of those that I visit in LA are no longer in compliance. It's been a couple of years, and they have tremendous staff turnover. So, but one thing, I talked to a local drive-through here in Glendale, and they said they had so many people who were very angry. They'd drive away, and then 3 blocks away, they discovered that XYZ was not in their bag. And I explained to the gentleman at the window, I said, well, it's on request, and, but I think it was maybe too subtle a thing. The staff is too rushed, so, but they seem to be confused about not knowing people can, request these items, so.
We understand that disposable foodware accessories is an issue, and we are continuing to try and educate the food dispensers and also look at additional campaigns and way to get that information across.
But I think, you mentioned the ready-made signs that are customizable. That, I remember during the initial period of COVID, the county health department had signs that you could just download and stick on your, similar to that, but window stickers and whatnot might help as well. But, ready-made signs that people can print.
Chair Warner, if I may, I know we're on item 6, but I still had a quick question. The caller brought up something interesting I had in mind. I was reading the newsletter, and I see for number 5, it says environmental preferable purchasing was established in the city. It's an internal city policy that incentivizes purchasing sustainable products and promotes sustainable purchasing practices. I believe this is only for the city, but I was wondering if it was possible to look into this to make it a citywide initiative instead. I do believe there would be like economic and a cost constraint to it, so it might not be economically feasible, but just something in mind maybe for next commission meeting if I could agendize it, ask someone to agendize it. Yeah.
You mean asking businesses in the city to buy responsibly?
That is right. And I believe you would have to subsidize it and incentivize it. You can't force it on businesses, I believe, and that brings up the answer of who funds that. Yeah.
I work a lot on EPP. That's an interesting area. I've suggested similar things and was told, no, we cannot mandate that. But there is a state law with SB 1383. It does mandate that cities buy certain amounts of compost and things because to try to, stimulate markets. So I would think you'd probably want to first encourage this because it's very difficult to monitor the success, how the programs are going, even just within your own city. But we could do outreach, on a couple items like try to, a couple themes by domestic. Focus what's your big buy. If it's paper, make sure it's got recycled content, things of that sort. But yeah, I would love to be in charge of what people buy.
So, if I may interrupt, I've just been informed by our attorney that this discussion is not agendized. Do you want to reopen item 5 or not? Okay. So that discussion is closed at this point.
So agenda item 5 is closed, and we're moving on to agenda item 6, which is reports and information, but we do not have any reports and information at this time. So next up is agenda item 7, sustainability office updates.
Well, actually, under information, I was just thinking of something you guys said maybe falls under that category, but if you can't, make businesses buy green, couldn't we develop a program where you just like they have Green Guard Gold or what have you, where you get, brownie points that you get to put in your website? Could there be a Green Glendale Gold or something like that, where a business could strive to get that kind of thing? Is that something we could agendize looking at?
So we can agendize at a future meeting. We have a green business certification program in the city of Glendale that is managed by our integrated waste management. And that program, as ex officio Borisov mentioned, that works in certain categories. And one of the things it looks at is like waste reduction, water reduction. And I think one of the categories they may look at in there is, how to improve your supply chain performance through purchasing. I'm not exactly sure. But if the Commission wants integrated waste management to come and talk about that green business program, we can ask them to do that.
Yeah, that could be, if it's a point system, that could be another way they could earn points is through environmental purchasing or something. But okay, so can we go on to the next agenda item?
We are on sustainability office updates.
So not a lot's happened over the holiday period. Just as mentioned, so we've had 2 meetings, internal meetings regarding the Climate Action Adaptation Plan. We had an initial meeting of our consultants, just going over the rules of engagement with them and everything. And then we also had a meeting with our internal team, getting them up to speed on the project because some of them are new to the project, getting to understand what the project's all about. And then next week we have our first full kickoff meeting with the consultants, with the internal teams to start that project. So we're excited about that. The holiday newsletter that was sent out proved to be pretty popular. I believe Elizabeth said they had over 500 people following that or looking at that newsletter. So we're really happy about that. Elizabeth, with her team member Nora are really doing a great job in increasing our social media presence, I guess. I'm not too familiar with the language, but more and more people are coming into us and looking at us and following our social media. We've completed the mini bin rollout to most departments within the city now. So what that means is people no longer have trash cans or recycling cans in their desks. They just have the one little mini can. And then you fill that up, and then you have to go to a central recycling station to make sure you put everything in the correct bin. I'll let Elizabeth talk about Sustainable Libraries Grant and the electrical landscaping demonstration event.
Yes, this week a press release went out from the library announcing the library's award of the Sustainable Libraries Grant and how the Glendale Library is one of the first in the state to receive this grant, as in this is a new program and we're one of the first part of the program. And this program will fund a Fix-It clinic, a monthly sewing clinic, a carbon conversations like community panel discussions, Earth Day, and a guided nature hike. So we're in the process of executing all those plans. And then this week we just organized an electric landscaping demonstration event with AGSA, so the American Green Zone Alliance. They've done this with other cities like South Pasadena, and this week they even had a successful event out in the rain with Westlake Village. They were inside, but still I'm proud of their turnout given that it rained. So we just booked that, and that'll be happening in the end of February, on February 23rd in the morning from 8 to noon.
One comment, if I may. For the February 23rd event, I strongly encourage you to have flyers for the AQMD grant or swap program that they have for electric landscaping equipment. You take your old gas-powered landscape equipment, they'll,
This
replace it.
demonstration event will have signups for CORE, who is having a purchase point voucher program that's for micro and small businesses, or mostly micro businesses. So they'll have signups for people to be able to access that voucher program. And as for the exchange, we could have flyers for that. AGSA does a lot of promotion of these type of programs. So I'm not sure if the swapping is still open, but if it is, we'll definitely notify them. But their main goal is to advocate the point of purchase voucher program that's open for small businesses until like May.
I think the AQMD program is still open. Because a lot of people will say, well, the new one costs too much. The equipment that I have, it still has some life into it. Why should I replace it? So giving them that information would help.
Okay, so I was wondering what electric landscaping was, but now I understand. Okay, so it's basically getting rid of gas-powered lawn maintenance equipment. Okay. I'm better now. I was imagining light up trees or something. It was like
electric or battery powered.
Okay, it's just the way it's worded. It's like electric landscaping demonstration. Okay, that's good to hear. I know a lot of people are concerned about the noise too. So.
And last update is we'll be launching, hopefully this month or next month, an Environmental Stewardship Award. So the commission, our chair, will be able to select someone who is nominated within the community in Glendale for their work in environmental stewardship. So that will be hopefully coming, and hopefully next commission meeting we'll be able to have our first awardee.
And is it an annual or monthly?
Make it monthly.
Oh,
You can try and make it monthly if you'd like.
Right.
I have two questions on this, if I may. The library's grant, are you the ones doing like the carbon conversation? Are you the staff that will be talking about that, or GWP staff?
We'll be working, we're still defining what the carbon conversations will be, but we have a suggestion of some outside speakers, so it won't just be city staff. And we're working with the Rajus Institute on organizing that.
Oh, okay. I'm wondering if commissioners would like to be speakers at any of these events too. And then on the February 3rd demo, where is that and what time?
We'll have it at the Isabel parking lot, so the parking lot just behind City Hall from 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
And I wanted to make a quick comment. Thank you for the presentation. It was great. And I wanted to say a special thank you for whoever is leading the social media. I love it. And in my humble opinion, I think it's the best in the city. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Okay, if there aren't any more questions, next agenda item is adjournment. I just need a motion and a second.
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Thank you. The Sustainability Commission meeting is adjourned at 6:29 p.m.